It's me again. Good old heavy hands. $3.49 from the thrift store from Housewares Wood Decor from a thrift shop. This is well, it's a Holland shoe, aka clog. I think these ones are for just show purpose, or maybe a little kid would fit this. My grandpa used to wear clogs with the solid wood bottom part, but then there'd be leather up here. He actually gave me a pair when I was younger too. So this, I didn't only get one, I got two. Why does this one feel a lot heavier? This one feels a lot heavier than this one. Let me give you the wider screen here. Yeah, this one feels a lot heavier for some reason. But they're a set, so I bought them for $4, $3.50 for two. I've already cleaned this one up. I've been wanting to carve one of these for a long time. Just carve Rob has carved one. He did tell me that he believes they are beechwood. Now, I've never carved beechwood before. Now, it's getting late in the night here. Excuse me. It's getting late in the night here, and well, I just don't want to do any fast, crazy carving that makes lots of dust. So this is what I'm going to carve. I think for this, you know, I wish I could get a bigger one, because Tony Beats from Gold Rush, you know, you guys that watch the show Gold Rush, the Tony Beats loves these clogs. They're Dutch or Holland or something like that. And I was going to carve some gold nuggets on here for his kids, maybe a thing of his excavator or something, and send it to him, but I just don't have one big enough. I was going to put, I think he's got 3 or 4 kids, so gold nuggets for each kid, maybe him and his wife or something. But anyways, that's not happening on this one. So I think when you're doing something like this, you can see, yeah, I'm degrading this is probably really from Dutch or wherever, Holland, and I took the patina off and the painting off, but that's okay. It was all scratched up and dinged up anyways, so who cares really? You're going to make it cool. And this is going to be I don't know, you can make it a succulent planter for out in your garden, or give it to a girl, lady, or whatever you want to do, or sell it. So I think what I'm going to do here is, I think Just Carve Rob did a flower on his too. I know there's a lot of talking in these videos before carving, but I got to explain what's going on. So I think, like, what kind of flower do I want to put on this? I just kind of rushed my flower, but I was sitting around and I said, you know, I got to try and start getting better at my flowers. And well, I just do the typical dogwood flower, but I want to try and make this one look like a cherry blossom. So I think it's probably better if I used a pencil, but well, I don't have a pencil here, and I got this pen, and the pen shows better on the video. So this isn't going to be a perfect like a tattoo looking flower. You know, the tattoos are like perfect, each petal is exact the same all the way around. I think the cherry blossoms have 5 petals. Oops, why did I do that? Yeah, this, I can tell right now, this wood is really absorbing this pen too. So that'll be my center line. And then we'll just try to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try and make them all the same size. And you can see this one here is pretty big, so let's move it over a bit here. So then I just kind of give it a thing here, and your little lip there like that. Like I said, my cherry blossoms never end up looking like cherry blossoms. But it's all right. As long as it looks like a flower some way, I think you're all right. All right, so you can see this petal is kind of, well, this needs to come in here more. They're all different. It's just a friggin' mess is what it is. All we're doing at this point is just having fun and carving shoe like we always wanted to do. carving a shoe like we always wanted to do. Look at that. Now I'm getting into rhymes. Now, so you're going to carve around this flower. You're going to do some undercuts. Doesn't matter if we cut through. We can even put a succulent in this part too. If we cut through it, carve the flower right off. Now, what do you want to do behind the flower? Do you want to do petals? Nah, I don't really want to do petals. I think I kind of want to, well, you know, Japanese tattoos, when they're doing them, they have it so like there's kind of wind and there's the petals in the wind, but that's a lot of carving. You know, so the winds, they have like the Japanese wind going by the flower, then there's some petals floating in the wind. So we can always do like, let's do this. Got to do nice swoosh lines. We'll bring it up here. Pretend we're carrying it on down here. We'll bring it up here like that. So then we'll start. This is just kind of Geordie art. It's kind of how I did my paintings. I'm really influenced by Japanese and native art. So this we can. Then we'll make this one so it kind of comes out like that. See? And this is just me doing a carving at nighttime where I just kind of chilling out, doing my thing. You can also bring this one out bigger here. Make sure it's on camera, Jordy. Bring it up like this. Now you can do 2 lines if you want. This, damn it, I didn't want to do that. We have to carry it on there. You can do 2 lines if so. Let's do this. Do I want to bring it over here? It's just more curvy. It's better if we can hide it under the flower, but let's do this. Go like this. Up, over. Bring it tight. Up around. Like that. You can even make this one go. Now you can also have lines going. Well, you can do whatever you want to freaking do. It's your art. You can have lines coming out from under here too, which I'll probably incorporate later. All right. So since I've never, so then you got to put the petals in here. So don't pay attention to this messy line, but this is how they do the petals. Just like this, and then like that. And you can even paint this after. Let's put another line right here, just because we can. We'll go way out here. And then we'll tuck it in right here. It's kind of got to get them to match, but we'll put another petal right up here. We'll carve it better. This is just for a template. And they don't have to be faced the same way. So this one's faced that way. We'll make this one this way. There could be another flower back here if you wanted to. And this one. These are just reference lines for me. You just want to make it look like it all. See this line up here? It just needs to be smoother, so we'll go like this. Now, because I incorporated the flower on top of the wind lines, now you have more work to do. So what your best thing to do first is, so this would be layers, right? So the first layer, number 1, would be closest to you. So the flower would be closest to you. So you have to carve deeper around that flower. Then the next layer would be the wind. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you can just Google Japanese tattoo wind and you'll see like kind of like this stuff in my tattoo here. It's really fading, but that's like Japanese wind. But so even here, you can even do like a little one of my things. This is what can start the spiral here. And these, I was talking to my friend today, jeweler, and I was talking to him about art and stuff like that. And I was talking to him about carving like kind of oak leaves and stuff like that. The way they do that, and then they do a whole bunch. They do like a big metal sheet, and they'll carve the oak leaves on it and stuff. And these, because I've been thinking about getting one of those metal scribes, but they're expensive, and I definitely don't have the money right now, and I don't want to be spending it, chipping out that kind of money. They're not cheap for a good one. It's just about having fun. And the more that I do these kind of things, the more that I'm going to get better. So, because like, mine's not like the traditional type, but I can bring this off here. You definitely don't want to have any straight lines on a piece like this. And then once you're done carving this, then you can bring lines like just giving more things to look at. But your centerpiece is your flower, your center thing, right? So I don't know. What burr do I want to start off with? Like I said, I've never carved this stuff before. I examine the wood, and I can see by looking in. Let me see if I can show you. This was done. I think this was made with a machine router or a thing, because you can see there's the chisel marks. They still make these by hand too. This could have been made by hand with gouges and chisels. You can see the marks on the bottom here, and the bottom too, and you can see it on the inside. Oh yeah, right. What burr do I want to use? This video is already 12 minutes, but I don't care. If you're not enjoying it, well, see you later. We'll see you on the next one. This is what I'm up to. I might be up till midnight doing this, but I'm going to be doing it tonight. Anyways, what burr? Burr. This is one of those cheap, man, I hope my microphone is working because I don't want to do a voiceover on this, but this is one of those cheap Chinese bits, the 3 cutters. I think I'm going to try and start off with one of these and just do the flower right now. So I'll cut it in. If it's working, then these burrs are good for, pretend if you're a knife carver, they're good for stops and starts, right? They're not, unless you're a really skilled carver with the Dremel, they're not the easiest to use to try and remove wood, because it's like you have to go with the grain when you're using these. So to remove wood with these, you have to be a bit more experienced. I'm not saying I'm like crazy experienced with this and I'm a pro and I can do it hold it with my friggin' toes and do it. I'm just saying that you have to really know the Dremel handpiece and how it works and stuff like that to be able to remove the wood. And you have to really know the way the grain works when you're using a burr like this too. You always want to go down the grain with the grain. You don't want to go up the grain because then it can chip. And like I said, I've never carved this wood before. So let's get the burr and the thing here. The Dremel handpiece. Now I'm using a foot pedal. It's just an on-off foot pedal. I run my Dremel maximum speed all the time. But I have the foot pedal to turn it on and off. Let's see right here. So it's slow. It's on slow right now because I got this sanding mandrel on here. But once I put this bit in here, I'm going to turn it up maximum, use my foot pedal, crank my Dremel up maximum, and I'm running my favorite Dremel is a Dremel 4000. Now you do not need the Dremel 4000. You can use a Wen rotary tool or whatever, but I suggest if you get the Wen or a knockoff one from Amazon, get yourself the Dremel flex shaft because, well, this is the best. There's other good ones out there too, but I gotta admit, Dremel's the best. Besides this stupid key, the locking key, because you put your hand on it, and then anyways, it's a whole different friggin' story. One thing about these Chinese bits, they get dull really fast. So I don't know if this one's dull. I even tried to heat them up with a torch and then dip them in oil, pretending I was Mr. Forged in Fire, but I don't think it really helped. But if this one's dull, I'll stop and got another one. Now let's ignite the dust fan. Hey, why is the dust collector not turning on? Stand by. Okay, that's it. Let me make sure this microphone's working. Okay, it's working. So let's just try this out for a few seconds without the dust collector. Then I'm going to have to put my dust mask on and everything. So let's just do one of these pedals here. Oops. If you ask me, this kind of smells like basswood. So there's the shoe all done. Now let me turn my dust collector on because I want to. See, right now with this cut going this way, I'm going with the grain down the stairs. If I was doing it this way, watch, this is up the stairs and it doesn't cut that well. I'll zoom in for that, but now see that? See how it actually looks like stairs? Because that's the grain. I'll just leave it here. Jordy, you're going to have to zoom in. Now let's spin it. Now let's carve it down the stairs with the grain. But see how nice that looks? Looks just like ivory. So just remember, when you're using, the most important part when you're using these cheap Chinese cutters with the 3 flutes, you got to know which way the grain's going. I'll try to keep on using. I know this way will be good. So you can see there it's choppy now again. So, instead of having the hassle to find out which way the grain's going, I think probably if I go this way here, it will be going down the stairs. See how nice and clean it's cutting? So my thinking process is, see, I don't have it too deep. My thinking process is now with this bit, I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of just, yeah, it cuts nice when I'm going down the stairs or with the grain, whatever you want to say, but it's just kind of not worth my time anymore. So let's find a different burr. This would be the Kutzall silver taper burr. If anybody wants to get these Kutzall to save 5 or 10%, just go to the description below, and you don't even have to use the code CFusion anymore or something. I don't know. So we got this on here. And now we can just go around the outside of the flower. The good thing with these burrs is you don't have to worry about which way the grain's going. You can carve it any which way you want. You see how I was carving off my lines? Well, that's all right. You know, just kind of if you get confused where your lines were, well, draw your lines on, take a picture of it, carve your lines off, then redraw them on. You know, so don't worry about carving off your lines. I'll get all this done around the flower. I'll redraw my lines on. Then we'll talk about carving into this or something. Also, I got a taper around the flower edges, like inside the circle there. You guys will notice, like maybe for chisels and gouges, when you have a little hammer or something, you're gouging it with chisel, have your piece in a vise. But I could, it would drive me nuts to have my piece in a vise, because, well, I need to move it around. Anyways, carry on. All right, so we have our flower somewhat established. And you know what? If you look, I just kind of took my time, and it's probably the best flower I ever did so far. I'm probably going to ruin it. But anyways, I redrew all my lines on. I changed it up a bit. I think I'm going to have to fix this up a little bit. It's not going to be exactly like that, but then we'll figure that out. But now I got the same burr on here, this little cheap aluminum cutter. You can buy these in my Amazon store. If you go below, all the tools I use, like if you hit more, if you're on the computer or on a tablet, or your phone, just hit more or continue or something, down in the description, it will show you all this stuff. And, you know, if you do buy it, it does help the channel. So now I'm going to go along here and do a bunch of start cuts. I'm just going to cut all the way across these lines everywhere. I'm not too sure about here yet, but right here, everywhere, I'm going to do is cut straight on the line and follow the lines. If I want to veer off, like I said, these lines are just quick templates. If I want to, maybe I should not even do these long wind lines and carve in a friggin' spiral thing. Do what you want. Do what makes you happy. I don't have my microphone plugged in, but one thing about these burrs, what was I going to say? Yeah, well, so you're going to see me use this, not the point, but I'm going to lay it on its side when I'm doing the start cut. These cut a lot better on their sides instead of just using the point. Anyways. Another thing I want to say, when you're carving with a bit like this will cut your skin. If you get hit with those Kutzalls or saber tooth, they'll scratch your skin. You'll get a little bit of like a road rash, but this will give you stitches. Yes, it will. It's hit my nail before and basically took the whole nail off right down to almost it was bleeding a bit. So when you're using this, it's going to kick this way. So always try to remind yourself when you're holding it to hold your hand. So if it kicks, it will just bypass your hand. I know it's easier said than done, but so pretend if I was carving it here, coming around here, it kicked. It's going to hit me if my hand was there. But if you try and hold it move it around so it's not, if it kicks, it's not going to hit your hand. That's just a tip for the very beginners. All right, so I got all my start cuts in. I carved around the the little petals. So there's 1, 2, 3 petals. Now, this just, my style is my style. My style is not your guys' style. So you come up with your own style. You can copy this style. I don't know, maybe I'll see something on Facebook that somebody likes. I like that style, and I'll try to copy that style. Doing this smooth line stuff, just it really relaxes me. One thing I just looked right here, if you see here, there's a straight line. Well, it's kind of straight. I don't like straight lines on pieces like this. But anyways, so what I did is I hooked up this, this is a taper burr. It's like a cone taper. This is the gold one. Gold is the finest that Kutzall makes. This one has a straight edge, right? It's not round like the flame burr. So I want to taper. When I'm doing stuff like this, I want to taper one side deep and one side high. So it would be like fist scales overlapping each other. So let's see here. I wish those lines weren't on here, but let's look at this piece right here. Or do we got it? Okay, so actually right here. Let's go right here. So this, I want to carve this deep, carve it, taper it down, like slow downhill. And then where my finger is, leave this side high. So deep in here, leave this side high, then deep in here, leave this side high. Let's turn on the fan, just do this quickly. And this is what relaxes me. First of all, I got to drink some chocolate milk, though. You guys like chocolate milk? I like chocolate milk. Not all the time, though, just once in a while. I'm doing it so I don't see the cut line in it anymore. If you look right there, you'll see a little cut line from the tip of that bit, so I just feather that out. Perfect. On to the next. Lighting is so important, in my opinion, for any type of art that you do, because shadows can really play tricks with your mind. So when I was carving these like this, doing it nice, and then I had to taper it underneath, I want this one to be higher, so I had to taper this down so it's like underneath it. I thought I was doing it perfect, but then when I turned it over this way, I saw that, like, look, I still have to take that down. Doesn't look like it when you're here. But then you spin it over here, and you got all proper lighting from all sides. You can see. That's why I like turning my piece. So when I'm looking at this, I already got these tapered under. These lines here are supposed to be going underneath this one. So I want the edge of this to be high up. So I'll start here so I know, and I got to taper in here and then all the way around. Turn my fan on. So you just kind of have to remember which way it tapers in and which one. So like this is kind of a flat edge. I'll round that off. Um, and just blending everything in together. So this tapers in this way, then this one tapers that way. So then I'm going to start tapering this one that way. First of all, I'm going to cut around this pedal and then slowly taper. I might cut an extra line in here. I'm not too sure, but taper. Just try and keep your tapers consistent. And just have fun. Enjoy yourself. This is, out of all art, this is what stuff like this, even lines like this, relaxes me the most. So now it's time. I'm going to put on some music and carry on. I hope this helps somebody. So at the beginning of this video, I thought I talked to Just Carve Raw, not about, he doesn't know that I'm carving this, but he's already carved one. And yeah, he did a sunflower on his. But I thought he said it was beechwood or something, but he doesn't know. He didn't say it was beechwood. I don't know what type of wood he said. He said it seemed like it was all right to carve once he got rid of the finish off of it. I looked it up. What do they make? What do they carve wooden clogs out of? There was, I think there was alder on there. They said sometimes they do beechwood, willow, or poplar. So I've carved willow from the tree that they cut down at the farm, and I've carved trees, and I've carved poplar. So I think, well, this is what I got. I'm pretty sure that this is willow. It kind of looks like a Nike now, doesn't it? This, when I was carving it, kind of smelled like basswood. And then when I was thinking about it, I'm like, man, this does. This was before I checked it out on Google. Like, this kind of reminds me of carving the willow. So this is what I got so far. I haven't done any sanding yet. Looks like a sports shoe now, kind of, doesn't it? Now I think I'm going to call it a night for sanding and finishing this piece off. But another thing what makes me think it's willow is because the willow where I carved the trees that they got cut down, it had super wide grain in it. And if you look at this, like I drew these lines on here. So if you continue this line continue it all the way up here and all the way up, this one all the way down here. Now where my finger is, that's a grain. From there to there, those 2 points. Let's just draw it on. The tree grew this big, this wide in 1 year. So my good suspicion is that this is willow. Just do your research on the wood that you carve. You'll figure it out. Yeah, so look how wide that tree grew in 1 year. It must have been a super wet winter than I don't know, wet and hot summer for it to grow that big. Who knows? Anyways, I think it's willow. Willow it is. Don't forget to carve some holes in here for succulents. Drill your holes. And I really don't know how to finish this. I do think the flower needs to be painted. This kind of reminds me like some Sikh thing or something here. Anyways, it's different. I like these lines. There's your things, your flying petals. And there's one here. That's why it reminds me of a Nike shoe, because you got like a Nike symbol there. Anyways, carry on till tomorrow. Sand it. I think I'll probably sand it with a diamond bit. And then I just do not know how to finish it, but that's what tomorrow will bring. Show it here so you guys get some better shading. There's a symbol in here, sticker or something. I'm gonna Google that. I think I did before. Maybe that's maybe it was made in 1998. In the first month, I think. CEN1 1-98. Till tomorrow. So yes, it's now the next day. I spent about 5 minutes sanding this with this sanding mandrel you can get on Amazon. I think these are in my Amazon store too. And just some, what's this name of this cloth back sandpaper? I forget the name of it. And I just put like 5 here on and 2 reverse. So when you get these sanding mandrels, make sure you don't get the little tiny ones. This one's 1/8. Make sure when you're looking at it, if you don't go through my Amazon store, I think you get like 10 of these for like $10 or 5 for $10. Make sure it's got the big screw head on it. I made this one a square, the Phillips or whatever it's called, the triangle. I cut an extra line there, but they're normally just one line, like for a flathead screwdriver. So that's that. And when you're using this on your Dremel, really turn your Dremel down, because I've fried lots of Dremels using these. Always put your hand on your Dremel when you're using it and see how hot your Dremel is, because this is lots of friction for your Dremel, for the motor. Anyway, so I think I'm gonna paint this. What I'm gonna do, so you can see the cherry blossom here, and then the petal, and then there's one petal here. I got this wood burner. Let me give you the bigger view here. This is a cheap Amazon wood burner. Turn it on. I like this one. I don't know. This is in my Amazon store too. I'm not trying to sell you guys stuff. It's just easy for you to get what I suggest if it's in my Amazon store. This thing's cheap. I think I paid like $20 or $30 for it. I like this one because when I'm doing the wood burning, I always like, look how hot my piece, look how hot that bit is right now. I always crank this thing up maximum. But this one has the big foam cushiony handle on it, and it never overheats. So that's why I like it. So let's see what, let's try with, all I'm going to do is burn around the flower petal and the single petals. And I might give the flower petal some texture, some like vein lines or something in there. But let's see if this is hot enough. No. Now why I'm just burning around the petals is because, just like Just Carve Rob says, or Ben's Studio on the Lake, the burning acts like a ditch. So if you thin out your paint, look, I'm just cranking this sucker up. If you thin out your paint, it's, when I put you guys saw at the beginning of this video, when I put the pen on here, I said, oh, this wood's very porous, which means it sucks in the pen. So this is going to suck in the paint, and it's going to spread the paint inside the wood, because, well, that's what it's going to do. But if you do a wood burn, if you burn around, say, like, let's give you the closer view again. If you burn around this petal, it will act like a ditch, and it will stop the paint from running where it shouldn't be. Now, I don't know what color to paint this. I was thinking maybe I could paint the shoe green, and then the cherry blossoms red. I don't know. Anyway, there's my ditch around there. You know, you can wood burn all in here, but I just really don't want to do that. So for you beginning carvers, this tool, this wood burner tool, is a very, very handy tool to have when you're doing stuff like this. Now remember, you don't want to be sucking in this smoke, so try and do it in a ventilated area. All right, so I'll get all this wood burnt, and then we'll talk about the paint. So all the wood burning is done. Now I just don't have any dark green color. I can't find any green here. I got this cerulean blue deep, this color, You want this to kind of, even though this is Dutch and a Holland thing, but this is Carving Fusion, I can paint this thing any colors I freaking want to paint it. I got this, I got these, what's this, something, and I got this, something, these colors. I thought maybe about doing it, painting the whole shoe. This is kind of metallic paint though, and then the orange flower. Or this color and the orange flower. I don't know. I just don't know. I found this blue tattoo ink that I got here. I don't know what the name of it. It's dragon skin or something. I did have some green stuff, but I just can't find it since I did the move. But so I got it in here and I watered it down. So I guess I'll do the shoe blue. Why not? And maybe an orange flower would be pretty cool. Got a hole there for a string or something to hang them up whenever, keep them together. This will, I'll sell this piece this Christmas or something. If anybody wants to buy it, you can always send me an email at canadian1dude@gmail.com, I guess. I got to start getting some more carvings for sale for around Christmas time. That's kind of when I sell the most of my carvings. I think either a red or an orange flower would look nice on this. So how about I get all this blue painted, let it dry. You can always pull up my heat gun and dry it quicker. And I'll be back. How's that? You guys are probably thinking I'm crazy painting it blue, aren't you? I can paint it blue, then sand the high points a little bit. All right, so here's the name of the tattoo ink. It's Ink Tattoo Ink. Ink Tattoo Ink. 1 unit, ½ ounce. Here we go. Viking Ink Tattoo Ink blue color. I don't know. I got this off Amazon. The label's been covered up, but I think it's just if you Google Viking Ink, because now I remember when you do this, it comes out different colors. See, it's kind of purplishey blue. See the different colors and the different wood. See that? You can see better here. Now, I got the blue. See how this stuff went on super thin. It was totally watered down. Now see how that wood burning around those petals makes it from that paint or ink, tattoo ink, from traveling up. Where you see the blue on the flower, that's me being lazy and just hurrying up and doing it. Now, should I sand the high points a little bit, just scuff them up? I think so. I think it will give it a little bit more character. Now I'm thinking about, I don't know, I wish you guys were all here to just ask this Carve Rob what color I should paint the flower, but he said ivory. That'd be kind of nice, but I was thinking kind of orange or red, like a tattoo, Japanese tattoo stuff. Anyways, let me pull out a little bit of sandpaper and see if I can scuff up those high points. You can just try it on a little area. It doesn't, if you don't think it goes with the piece, well then just friggin' paint it again. I still got more tattoo ink in the thing right there. So let's see where you guys can see a good area. Let's try it right here. Oh, still wet down here. So that's it. Giving it a little bit of a highlight. And here goes Heavy Hands. Yep, here he goes. Scuffing it up to get those highlights. I think it adds a little bit more character. Yeah, I'm gonna do this whole thing with it, just the high points. Anyway, I'm gonna try and hit the high points. So once again, what am I gonna say right now? What am I gonna say? 3, 2, 1. Sign your pieces. I put a hole in the back too to hang it on a nail, so you can hang it and put a cycle in it, and I put a drain hole in there too. So this is what I came up with. I painted the, I'm not the best painter by any means. I painted the flower to cover the blue, and I was going to paint the orange over top of the white. But I said, you know what, man? I asked just Carve Rob what color I should paint the flower. He says ivory. So it kind of gave me the idea of the whitish color. So I just kind of went with all blue. I like it. Is this something that I would hang in my yard? No, it's not. I think this is more for a girl, or if you're kind of like a hippie type person, but no insult, but just this isn't for me. I like it. I think it's actually come out super pretty, but that's not something that I would hang in my yard. Now I think for the good thing about tattoo ink, I learned this from Bap over at I Can Carve. It doesn't fade in the sun. It will stay blue, and this white dollar store paint won't fade either. Any wood dye that I've used does fade, but the tattooed ink doesn't fade because it's so good now. It's got UV protective stuff in it, and it always stays that color. I'm going to give this a Mod Podge gloss. I got this at the dollar store. It's a full tube of it, so this will give it a protective. You don't even need to protect it, but let's protect it. We'll make it a little bit shiny. Now I got to wait for the Mod Podge to dry before, because I'm going to end this video. I'm going to hang this piece right up here. Anyways, I'm going to hang it up on the nail up there. Hi, Rob. And I'm going to have some succulents in it. So I got my paintbrush for the Mod Podge. I usually have a little thing to put the thing in, but I'll just take it out there and just get it on. I'd like to try and get, well, see how it just smothered the blue to the flower. So how am I going to do this? It's what it's doing is it's moving around the tattoo ink. So I guess I'm not going to Mod Podge it. Oops. Anyways, there's a perfect example of don't be a Geordie. So here's the shoe. I'm going to have to finish the video here. I don't have any spray clear coat. They also do have that spray Mod Podge. It's thinner in a bottle. You can spray it, but I have no clue where it is. So let's just hang it up here and end this video. There. Put some succulents in there. That would be a big seller. Hope everybody's doing good. I hope this video has helped some of you. And what am I going to carve next? I don't know, Jordy. What are you going to carve next? Where's Grumpy Jesse been?